We are full-time, external, nervous system master regulators for the children in our care. Children know at an intuitive level if the adults who support them like them. They know this through attunement. And our ability to regulate ourselves is the first step in providing co-regulation with children. You're listening to Reweaving Systems from Nervous to Regulated. I'm Jana Shalom, educator, multidimensional weaver, and your real-time nervous system master regulator. This is not a podcast. This is an attunement lab and the audible expression of a living transmission called Weaving Legacy. Here, we move through a living sequence, a truth that shakes something loose. Then, the pause. Feel our bodies, the bracing, the breath, the return. We don't regulate perfectly, we regulate together. And once we're back with ourselves, we name the systems that taught us to disconnect in the first place. Because programs don't change people. Regulated people change people. This is where we shift from the survival spiral to the reinhabiting spiral, where we learn to come home to ourselves in real time, where the sanctuary garden door opens from the inside. If your nervous system has been waiting for a place to relax into truth at a pace that it actually needs, then welcome home. This is the voice of a living lineage. Let the transmission call us back into our bodies. Let the weaving root into our daily lives. This is Reweaving Systems from Nervous to Regulated. I'm Jana Shalom. This is an attunement lab, a place to slow down, listen. Nothing is required of you here. Today's episode arrives on the new moon, a moment for beginnings, naming, and return. The first arc in our moon loom is about remembering where home is, in the body, in the nervous system, and in relationship with ourselves. Today we're starting with the first repair the body ever receives, naming the nervous system. Shalom, come home. The first episode sets the foundation for everything we'll do together. We're naming the nervous system so that we can actually partner with her. Here, we start in the body, before words, before explanation. We feel first. Why? Because we're feeling creatures who just so happen to think. Our nervous system knows the truth before our minds ever do. So we begin where truth lives. Most of us were raised to think the nervous system was a problem to fix, discipline, or suppress. But what if the nervous system was never something to control, but something to come home to? The nervous system is not our enemy. And once I named my nervous system, Shalom, everything changed. Naming her helped me hear her. Naming her is the first act of return. And there are times when even that feels out of reach, when we can't access relief in the moment. When this happens, we don't force stillness. We reorient. There's a guide for those moments too. Her name is Polaris, and we will meet her fully in episode 3. In this lineage, we use the word she when we speak about the nervous system, not because she has a gender, but because she is a relationship. She is our wisest companion. She is our return point, our best friend who always has our best interest at heart. Shalom means inner peace, the kind of peace that's our birthright, not something we have to earn. Shalom is the original state of the human system. We learn to brace before we learn to breathe. That wasn't our failure. That is our environment. In the world we're reweaving, we talk about the survival spiral and the reinhabiting spiral. One is leaving ourselves. One is returning. This is a homecoming lineage, a map leading us to the treasure of our own return. Regulation does not mean calm. Regulation is the act of calling ourselves home. This is how we move from the survival spiral to the reinhabiting spiral. And attunement is what happens when we give someone else the space and grace to call themselves home. Here are some regulation truths this lineage is built on. We are full-time, external, nervous system master regulators for the children in our care. Anytime we are discussing behavior, we are discussing the nervous system. Regulation is reunion with oneself. And regulation is responding in ways in which we won't regret later. Because here's the kicker. Children know at an intuitive level if the adults who support them like them. They know this through attunement. And our ability to regulate ourselves is the first step in providing co-regulation with children. Children co-regulate best when they trust the person who's providing them co-regulation. And we do all of this through attunement. And again, in this lineage, attunement means allowing someone else the space and grace to call themselves home. And I'm going to model how this looks in real time, how I notice, name, brace, and return. Before we continue, let's name something gently. This is an attunement lab, and some of us may find it helpful to have something supportive to go along with us as we listen. So we created the Attunement Companion Guide that corresponds with this arc. It's not homework, it's not a workbook, and it's not a process or anything that expects us to change. It's a quiet relational guide here to walk alongside us as we lean into these episodes. Or we can just set it down entirely. The choice is up to us. This attunement guide has simple language that mirrors what we're learning here. If that feels supportive, the Attunement Companion Guide is linked in the show notes. And if not, you are already welcome here, just as you are. Let's continue weaving together. To the loom we go. I want to read you something that I wrote about the earliest signs of bracing in my own body. I always know when depression is arriving. She doesn't knock. She moves through me with that old, familiar, ancestral warning sign, the one my body recorded generations before I ever got here. It starts with my right palm, a tightening, a strange rhythmic pulsing, as if my hand itself was a collapsing heart, fumbling through the final sputters of beats. With every pulse, tears rise without my consent and spill over before I can even prepare for their company. Waves of sensation tend to gather quickly, guilt wrapped in gauze, grief stuck to the inside of my hand, a heaviness I can't hide even if I try. Tissues and tendons throb in their own language, grief and gravity pull without apology. There's no masking this kind of melancholy. Truth be told, reality will slap us harder the moment we attempt to pretend otherwise. But the worst pain isn't in the palm. Not really. The worst pain comes from the voice inside, the one that criticizes, judges, and narrates its complaints with dramatic flair, as if punishment were somehow noble. The threat train starts chugging through my system. Fire-tipped thoughts rattling along the tracks, shaking loose whatever dreams were hanging on. All of this, the storm in my hand, is what happens when I refuse to honor the request of my oldest, dearest inner friend. The one who's been trying to guide me on this incarnate quest from the very beginning. In the past, my nervous system would whisper, "Please let me lead. Let me show you." And I simply ignored her wisdom and sent her back into the dark time and time again. But the palm does not lie. The body does not lie. Sending her back into the dark time and time again was never medicine. What helped was learning how to bring her into the light. She told me her name was Shalom. She taught me the sacred body technology that was never about fixing and never about forcing, only about returning. And we do this through a very simple invocation. Shalom, come home. The first embodied step to naming the nervous system as a true collaborator is allowing her to show up in the body as she appears, whether that's a sensation in my hand, naming that it's time for me to finally sit with the ache, the grief, the shame, the wisdom, the memory, the medicine. Because sometimes the pain in our palm is not punishment. It's the map back to ourselves. As I read that, I could feel my core tighten several different times. And when my core tightens, that's my cue. It's time to pause, breathe, name it, and return. Shalom, come home. This is what it looks like to partner with our nervous system instead of overriding her. This is the very foundation of the weaving legacy lineage. Anything that demands us to leave our own bodies, we are allowed to release that now. We have the right to live our lives as whole beings. We have the right to leave what fragments us. Our bodies aren't working against us. She's trying to guide us. The nervous system is our own inner oracle, the one who knows our own way home. Every time we name bracing, we're teaching our bodies how to come home in real time. We practice until it becomes instinct. Sometime today, pause and ask, where in my body am I bracing? Is it in the palm, like where mine sometimes lives? Maybe it's in the fluttering in your stomach. That's enough for today. The naming is the moment everything changes. I feel the brace, and I name, Shalom, come home. When we learn to come home to ourselves, the systems that thrived on our disconnection lose their power, because a person who is rooted in their own body cannot be bent by domination. And when nervous systems change, systems change. Our return is not passive, it is liberatory. Every time we choose reunion over bracing, we unravel the thread that was made by the old world, and we reweave a new one. This is how movements are born, not from force, but from bodies that choose to remember themselves. How we come home is how we become the kinds of humans we want to be, who can regulate not only ourselves, but one another. There's no right answer. There's no meaning-making yet. If all you notice is I feel nothing, that counts. Numbness is a sensation too. We're not trying to calm anything down. We're just getting curious about what's already here. We are building earlier awareness, not creating better behavior. So now I have a call to action for you. Some point during the week, I'd like you to ask yourself this question. What am I noticing in my body right now? And this is what I mean when I say noticing. We're not asking to analyze. We're not asking to fix it. We're asking to sense what your body might feel like. Is there warmth or coolness? Is there tightness or softness? Heaviness or lightness? A buzzing, a pulsating, or a stillness even? A shallow breath or a deeper one? Pressure, ache, or maybe even ease? Your call to action this week is simply just to sit with yourself one time and notice, how does my body feel right now? And now our threading for today has come to a close, not because the loom is finished, but because something has been quietly named. We don't rush has been noticed. We let it rest in the dark. This is how beginnings are protected. Join me on our next episode, where we will discover the survival spiral, why we brace before we breathe, which will be released on the first quarter moon on January 25th. Here we'll explore why we brace before we breathe. That's the architecture of the survival spiral, because what we name can be mapped, and what we map leads us back. Shalom, come home. You just moved through Reweaving Systems from Nervous to Regulated, the Nervous System Attunement Lab, where regulation happens in real time, where we take a breath, we feel our bodies, not perfectly, but honestly. We notice what shifted, what softened, what resisted, what came online even for a moment. If something stirred awake today, that isn't a sign that you're done. That's a sign that you're practicing the slow, steady work of returning to yourself. This work moves in spirals, not straight lines. We don't regulate once, we return again and again. Each time a little deeper, each time with a little bit more permission. And if today pushed you past your edges, that's part of the path. Edges are where remembering begins. This isn't content we're moving through. This is a living frequency, a lineage-held transmission that reshapes us as we walk it. To keep walking the path of somatic knowing, mythic remembering, and lineage weaving, meet us at Journey the Weave on Substack. And for deeper embodiment and spirit-born insight, enter Journey the Spirit Weave, our paid Substack tiered. Remember, our bodies are not the problem. Our nervous systems are not the obstacle. They are portals we are relearning how to trust. And if just one of us practices coming home to ourselves, systems begin to change. We'll see each other at the next episode. Until we weave again.